Alrighty. Survivor Series. I'm gonna be straight up. The War Games matches were mid. The singles matches were more interesting in my opinion. I was not expecting Shinsuke to defeat LA Knight. That surprised me. And it felt like in a very hastily, like quick. It's like he made quick work with him. Hopefully they're going somewhere with this. It kind of feels like they're going to do some triple threat or four-way dance or whatever with Andrade and probably Carmelo. I don't know, but maybe Knight's injured and he's taking some time off. I don't know. It just seemed very fast, but the match was cool. The Gunther Damian Priest match was cool. It's really funny because I kind of took my eye off of that regarding like, oh yeah, Finn Balor's going to walk in. I just thought maybe they just have a one-on-one, and I like completely forgot that he might have an influence on it. So I mean, it's good for the game to reestablish Gunther as a strong heel and to stretch out the storyline between these two. The way that I see it, that it probably all leads back to Mania. But who knows? I didn't really put any expectation. My whole focus was really on, the War Games matches, which I'm going to do a different breakdown, as I stated yesterday. Cool with that. I didn't have any expectations for the singles matches because then they just, I found them more interesting that way, I guess, this time around. So, with that said, let me get into this breakdown of these War Game matches for you. The females, the War Games with the women, right? Initially, I've stated that I don't see Rhea Ripley getting the title anytime soon. Probably at Mania. That's just my hunch. Liv is doing a great job with the title, and I know I'm guessing. I'm guessing here. I'm guessing. We still have to buy a little bit of time for Charlotte and where we're going to put Charlotte. Is she going to stay on SmackDown? Uh, for now, once again I can't recall when the draft is. So if she's going to get switched and if she will play a role in title contention, we shall see. I felt that from the beginning because you gave me this whole injury, orbital bone, the accident that we didn't see. Rhea's out, the fake accident. Is it real? Is it live? Is it Memorex? Whatever. From that point onward, I felt that Rhea should not have been in this War Games. It should have been Bailey from the beginning. For months, we have watched animosity, psychological animosity that Bianca Belair still has, or I should say trauma that she still has with Bailey. Let's go back to she helped Naomi. They were in the locker room, or they were somewhere backstage. I remember it was like by a mirror or something. It's Naomi, Bailey on one side, and it's Bianca and Jade on the other. And I can't recall if it's Kathy Kelly or somebody being interviewed, and then she uh, Bailey offered to help, or Bianca just spazzed. I should have just went back and checked out, but she spazzed, and she was the only one that spazzed. And Jade was trying to cool her out, and Naomi was trying to cool her out. But it's been a consistent, just ill will, ill contention with Bianca and Bailey, right? With that said, it creates more tension if it's Bailey. Is Bailey going to flip? No, least likely. I was hoping that they did not do that because would have made it look so cheap. As mid as I've already said this was. It just meant more to have Bailey. as one of the people because there's also issues with her and Io. So let's fast forward to Friday that just passed, and you have Liv come out and she cuts that promo, basically alluding to how they don't get along. Billy, this and that, and da da da, and da da da, and Io, and blah 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 blah. This, it's like now we're just compressing everything into this one weekend. Where if Bailey was one of the original people chosen for this will already be built in, and you could have had a couple of instances, accidents that happen, and then Bianca spazzes, so that when you have the Jade issue, it makes it even more of an issue with Bailey, right? Right. It looked cheap, a shortcut of Bailey coming out, pushing Naya, helping Bianca get the win, and then they just smile at each other, and then all that shit is just forgotten. Now, I can't remember when it was, but I could almost swear that Bailey had done that before for Bianca, and she got pissy with her. So now, out of the blue, now she's all smiles and, it doesn't, it's whatever. It just goes back to what I said yesterday about your pen. You're not consistent. The pen, it was cheap. It just seemed like, I mean, look, we know we're supposed to go one way, which is with Jade, right? But Jade could have still been in it. Bailey should have been in it. That causes all of that friction. Then when Jade goes out, it creates, like I said, more, right? Toward the end of the series of War Games, this is when I would have had Rhea pop up and cause them to lose, cause Liv's team to lose, right? Because all the rules are out the window, causing them to lose. And then it's like she's back, and then that sets up for a December match, which more than likely we're probably going to get. I don't know. But to tell me that this chick has an injury, now to see her with this bird beak on and with this, like, dude, like, for me, you know, being a youngling and thinking it's real to being a full blown adult, knowing that it's scripted, now you're trying to go in the bag of, is this person fake injured? Is it real injury? Is it storylines of that? It's, for me, I'm starting to not really give a shit, because it's like now when I see an injury, I'm like, okay, now is this real? Do I really feel sorry for this person now in reality? I hope they speedy recovery. Or is this just bullshit and then tomorrow they're just gonna show up? It's like, sorry, blame the old man for fucking pulling the curtain down and fucking up the game. I get what you're trying to do, but now it's just like a little retarded. Had you kept her on the shelf, then it seems like the injury seems a little bit more real, because that was damn near a month ago. And then for her to show up 2 weeks later with the bird beak on, come on, you know. And then you're showing me the x-rays and all this other shit. And then, it just, anyway, yeah. I would have had her show up and caused Bianca's team to get the win, because at this point she's already healed and she really wants Liv, and there's no rules. And she could have did something to Liv, and Liv could have got, pinned, and whoopty wompty, we'll see. That's the end of that. So that's my take on it. This just seems like it was Scotch taped together based off of whatever. And then Jay's injury just, you know, exacerbated it. Now, regarding Jade, me, this guy speaking, came up with a novel idea that no one would even see, right? But this is how this is what I would have done. Bottom line, when Cody had words with KO 2 weeks ago or last week or whatever when it was, right? And Cody threw him and they got into it. I mean, they threw him. I'm a step ahead of myself. I'm sorry. Cody had words with KO. He goes in the back, has words with Carmelo, and they scrap a little bit. And then, of course, now they have a match the following week, right? Whatever, right? I said, damn, it would have been cool if they had that segment in the opening, right? And filmed something where you see Carmelo waiting for Cody. Like he has like a pole, a brick, he has some shit. And he thinks that Jade is Cody. Somehow he's waiting and he pops her. Just Cole knocks the shit out of her, whatever. And this is how she ends up laid out. But we never see the footage until Jade returns. So now everyone can speculate. This one did it, that one did it, this one did it, Bianca did it, she's going to turn here, Bailey did. And it won't be this big, I told you it was this one. It would have been something that you guys would have never seen coming. And based on the position that you have Carmelo, when she returns, let's say he's still a heel, she could realistically either they could play it for comedy and he's kissing her ass and he's saying sorry, sorry, sorry. Hopefully, I wouldn't do this love story thing. No, leave that because that's too cliche. Or we see the tape, we see who did it, and then she just gets tricked. And whether he's NXT champion or not, Trick comes up and busts his ass, and they just get into it. And then you can once again cross between the shows. And then it just takes the heat off of who's going to turn and yada, yada, yada. Just leave that shit alone. And just, we don't know what's going to happen with the titles now, or if they're going to do Freebirds rules with Naomi and whatever, whatever. It right now it feels cheap now because it's an accident. Her injury is a real injury. I'm under that impression. So to just fill this up and go, okay, now we need to turn somebody heel and somebody need to do it. Unless you're going to say it's Lash. That's the only person that I could say you could give it to. That she and Jakaro showed up. It's on video and they laid her out. If it's anyone that's on the show that was currently on the show when the injury hit, I wouldn't do that. But that's just me, you know. Let's move on. I'm sorry. It just dawned on me. I never said who should have been the first, the replacement if Bailey was already in it. I would have put in Mia. Why not? Bailey's in the U.S. tournament and was in War Games. Why couldn't Mia also be in War Games and also be in the tournament? They both have issues with Nia Jax. I can't recall if I don't think that Mia has anything with Tiff, but that could have been implemented if they had picked her a couple of weeks back. Sorry, I left that out. Who should have been the replacement for Jade if Bailey was the original pick? So it's not like it's not doable. And plus, that gives Mia even more elevation. One, for her being in this, she's been in War Games before as well, too. One, her being in this. Two, I mean, when I say elevation spotlighting, okay, in case you don't know. Two, with her being in the tournament. And three, if she does go on to win it, she becomes more of a viable name that you know. So, yeah, Mia, I would have picked to be the fifth person if, in my world, Bailey was already in it and Jade got injured. That's it. Ta ta! The men's Survivor Series. For weeks, this is why I called it the Scotch taped, or the men's War Games rather. That's why I feel it was all Scotch taped, because for weeks no one knew, or at least for 2 weeks, no one knew who was going to enter in this thing. This whole big mystery, this whole big mystery. And then out the blue, they just come up with Punk. That didn't make any sense at all. I could see if you did Seth because he was asked, and there's ties, storyline ties. Punk, from what I can recall, might have had one run in, and that's when he first came back, and that was it. And now we concocted this. Paul Heyman called in a favor, and you're gonna have to owe me the favor. And I'm like, okay, well, what now is the favor? Because Roman doesn't have a title, and I don't see him regaining the title anytime soon. I don't know. So what is this favor? Why do you want a match with Roman without a title? It just seems like, all right, we have to scotch tape this and save this for whatever fell out that we don't know yet, that we won't find out until 2035 when someone's doing a interview with CVV and they say, oh yeah, this was supposed to happen, that. But anyhow, so we just put this sub story in play so that when we look in long term down the road and we decide to pull a trigger, hey, all right, let's go back with the Punk Paul Heyman angle. Who does he want the match with? Yada yada yada. This is the favor that he's owed because let's think about it. This it's a mystery person that was going to fill a slot, right? Then it's a mystery favor because no one knows what the favor is. Mystery in this realm, I guess, means we're piecing together a puzzle so we can slide in somebody, and then the mystery favor will be down the line storyline that we will slide in, and it will make sense then. Hence, scotch tape in the hole. So it seemed contrived, even when they were in the cage, and then he bumped them. It seemed realistically, Candace had already done it already, so she beat you to the punch in the earlier match. And he's bumping him to create this animosity, and then we sit at the table, this animosity for the whole year. I've been beating up the Scottish cat, and now I'm whatever. Y'all get the picture. As I said, the men's match as well was made. The best part to me was toward the end when they all did in solo. Um, the one thing that I didn't get, I guess, is for theatrics, is when they had the werewolf on the table. I love calling him the Samoan werewolf or the other werewolf. I was following this guy since MLW guys, so and Indies. They put him on the table, and you see Jay is on the rope, and he's sitting there. And I'm like, bro, like the fact that you're sitting there that long kind of spoils the fact that I know that you're gonna jump through the table. It's like either jump off the top and hit him, or like don't do it. It just almost felt like he did it too early. Not that he did anything on purpose. I mean, anything on accident. I don't know. Just the way that they um, rehearsed it just didn't seem like at certain points in both matches, males and females, that things should have flown faster. When EO goes up at the top, puts the can on, and then Tiff does the same without the can, it's like, wait, we wait, we wait. And everyone that's down the ring, we wait, and we waiting for you, and we waiting. And it's like all this wait time. It also has to do, this is something that it bothers me. I noticed a lot in AEW, and I'll spit it out real fast. I noticed it more in AEW and then notice it now in WWE. And people have talked about this. When you have high flyers, they go to the top rope, and it just seems like people are, once again, they're waiting. They do such a bad job at waiting. How come we just don't have someone that's like, I'm going to be the pitch person to tell you when they're about to do the move? Meanwhile, everybody just keep fighting or keep acting injured or hurt. And then when I give the kick or the symbol, or I go sauerkraut, that nobody hears me say sauerkraut, that means, oh shit, she's about to jump off or he's about to jump off. They all stand around and act like, and it makes it look like Cirque du Soleil or whatever the fuck you call it. And I hate that. It's like nowadays a lot of the physical acting has been watered down so that the spots. Like if someone pins someone, you can see that they're gonna pop up the way that they angle their arm, and like, oh yeah, she's gonna push off. You know what I mean? A lot of the in ring theatrics have been stripped down, and I don't understand why. But anyway, EO's at the top, and I caught now why she did the string. So that when she backflipped off, the can wouldn't separate from her. I got it. At least that's my theory. But I thought that, and I'm going to get back to the men's, I'm just mentioning this now. I thought that when she did the flip and Tiff did the flip, Tiff should have did something else. It would have been cool if she would have, it would have been, I'm not saying that she can do it. I don't know what she's capable of doing. But it just would have been cool if she can do it. Let's say if EO flips off, what's if he does a flip and a spin? That shit would have been hot because you would have had two hot moves. You'd be like, oh shit, she did that with the can. And this one did the spin. Oh, yada, yada. EO, we know that that's what she's known for, right? Tiff, this is her first War Games and this is her time to show out. So she does the little spin in the air. It fucking really highlights a little bit more. Oh shit, she had her moment. It's like what I thought about Shotzi last year. That was the one person I wanted to have a really good match in that War Games. I was worried about like this is her time. I hope she doesn't blow, and she did very fucking well. It's just unfortunate that she got injured, so now you did well and you have a setback. But let's go back to the men's. That was the Jay doing the top rope. It just seemed like, all right, bro, are you gonna jump off the top or what are we waiting for? Then he climbs at the top, does the jump. That was awesome. It's more so toward the end of the match than anything else. Everything just seemed it's not horrible, but it just seemed like it was just mid, bro. That's it. It was just mid. You know, um, there was certain points when I was watching things, even with the women too. I was watching like, yo, who produced this? Because it seems like sometimes the energy just seems kind of out of sync when the women they go get. And I keep going back to that, right? Women they go get the toilet seat and do the, and it's like it's certain, like it feels like it was supposed to go a certain way. Like this was a great idea when we thought about it, and then when we kind of ran through it, but now it's not kind of like all there. That's what this all felt like. It was like, oh, this is a great idea with the guys if we do this and this, and it just kind of didn't, mid. We'll move on.